Now, let me explain the situation. Unfortunately, Black households experience home foreclosure at the highest rate in this country. And that results in generations of household wealth completely erased right then. And now during this pandemic, we also know that Black households are the hardest hit by the COVID-19 disease and experience the highest unemployment hardship. And this results in greatest levels of financial insecurity, which harms the African American family's ability to achieve home ownership in the future. It's almost like a catch-22. There was a great movie by that name. Black people are in a catch-22 in this area. So, Ms. Bailey, what more can we in Congress do to eradicate this, to make sure that home ownership is not a housing choice that is limited only to those with generational wealth who are predominantly white? What more can we do?
Thank you for the question. We have to remember that 20% of white Americans can actually trace their wealth, those families that actually benefited from the Homestead Act land grants, they can trace their family's wealth to that single piece of legislation. We know that those New Deal policies really help to shore up the middle class. What those policies have done is really help middle class white families pass on intergenerational wealth to help their families with down payments. So one of the critical things that we can do is make sure that we have targeted down payment assistance programs that would benefit first-generation home buyers. Many of these first-generation home buyers are African Americans, Latinos, and other people of color. Doing this would generate an opportunity to really grow homeownership. We know that today there are 3 million mortgage-ready Black consumers, and there are more than 5 million mortgage-ready Latino consumers. So we have these consumers who are on the sideline ready to jump into homeownership, and a targeted down payment assistance program can really help to really bring those families in. What's good about this program is that it won't just help those families, it's actually going to help the economy overall. Studies have shown that addressing discrimination, including the discrimination in housing, has a chance to help grow the economy and help us to see economic growth around $1 trillion a year.
Very good. Now, I want you and Mr. Robertson, and I hope all of those listening, that yesterday I introduced my Financial Inclusion in Banking Act. And here's what it does, and it addresses some of what you just said. And we need everybody's help to get this bill called up and passed. And what my bill does is it convenes the CFPB to work with agencies, departments, and advocacy groups to be able to remove those financial inclusion points, that some of which you just mentioned, and help our Black homeowners access traditional financial services so that they are not pushed towards fringe back actors. That's where they go, because we don't act. And so, what do you and Mr. Robertson see as some of the risks associated with financial exclusion? And on top of that, I got another bill to start teaching financial education in our school system. Only 17 of our state public school systems offer one course in financial education. And so we're all also, my other bill grants the CFPB with grant making authority for public-private partnerships like what the FS Investments in Philadelphia is doing with the Wharton School of Finance at the University of Pennsylvania, my alma mater, coming up with the kinds of curriculums to start teaching our young Black people right away the importance of financial education. Can you all help us with those two bills?
Yes, I look forward to it.
Time has expired, but we will go ahead and welcome those responses to be in writing to the committee. Thank you very much, Mr. Scott.